What is up, my thrifty friends? Tabs here from the Urban Goddess shop. If you are new, I'm a Canadian reseller, a mom, a wife, work part-time in a hospital, and I sell used clothing. Like, that is my jam. I love selling used clothing, and I share kind of my journey and what I do in my business here on YouTube. Tap subscribe, join the crew. Welcome to the fun. Today's video, we are going over 36 sales over $40. It's actually been an incredible, probably like 2.5 weeks, but I have some information that I'm going to share at the end. I'm going to break down my numbers, my average sale price, how many items I've sold. I also did 2 Posh live auction shows in the mix of these sales. They're going to be included into this. But yeah, we're just going to go over all the sales over $40. I'm also going to give you keywords. So if you are struggling, you're a new reseller, you're like, how do I get my listings out? How do I get people finding them, seeing them? I'm going to share all my personal keywords with you guys, things that I am tagging, words that I am tagging in these listings that have sold. So I do think there is definitely value knowing keywords and which you should be tagging or using in your listings. I'm just going to share all my inside information. All right, let's jump right into this because we have a lot of stuff to go over. Make sure you stay tuned till the end because I'm going to give you guys a schwack more information and insight into these sales and my closet. We're going to start this off with the first sale, which was a pair of Aritzia Wilfred Buffin black jogger pants in a size medium, and they sold for $76. I love Aritzia pants. They are some of my top selling items right now. If I can find good trouser pants that are kind of current, I would say within 5 or 6 years, I'm going to scoop them up because they're holding really good value right now. Keywords that I would use for these types of pants is minimalist, neutral, and crepe. I actually saw crepe as a trending keyword that Poshmark had on their today's trends quite a while ago, but ever since then I was like, hey, crepe, people are looking for this material content. If I find them, which Aritzia often uses that word in their descriptions, I'm going to put it into the keyword as well. Next up, and this was a little bit of a gamble when I bought it, I paid $20 for this item. It's an Equipment Daphne floral silk long sleeve blouse in a size small, and it sold for $60. I knew I was paying up for it, but Equipment, especially if it's silk, I'm going to say kind of a current or trendy print on it. They tend to hold really good value. I've had good luck with them. I don't find them often, especially for a cost of goods where it meets my profit margin, where I'm happy with what I'm going to be making off of it. But this one is one that came through. I did have it listed much higher. I was open to accepting reasonable offers and then obviously just making the money that I want off the item. Keywords that I used for this one were floral, obviously, because it's floral, silk, that is a keyword that people are looking for, and mid-century modern. That was actually one of the words that popped up. I used Google Lens on this one to kind of get keywords because I wasn't sure what to tag into this one, and I wanted to make sure that I had something that was trending. And when I took a picture of this and used Google Lens, mid-century modern, which when I look back, I could see how this print would fall into there, is what popped up. So that's what I'm going with. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, and Google Lens is my best friend for figuring that out. Next sale is an item that I have had for so long, and I actually have been regretting grabbing for a couple months now, but happy this was able to move through my closet. It was a vintage Jazzino black denim bedazzled jacket in a size small, and it sold for $42. Yes, I used the word bedazzled, and if you grew up in the 90s, you know what that is. It definitely had like Spanish flavors with the floral and the embellishments on it. I don't know. It took forever to sell. It was super unique. It was such a cool piece. I thought it was going to do a lot better than it did. So keywords that I used for this one were 80s, vintage, and retro, which I felt were all fitting, but really I should have had bedazzled, floral. There's so many other words now that I'm looking at this. I probably should have tagged into it. Next up is a 4-piece bundle. This one sold for $139. I don't know what happened, but I used my shoppers feature one day and I sent out some aggressive offers on my closet just because my sales were really low. It sent out this really crazy offer and I don't know how it happened. I don't know what happened. But anyways, the person accepted the offer and I just went with it because sales were like non-existent. Anyways, these are the 4 pieces they got, and you're going to understand why I was like, this is a crazy offer. So she got a Lululemon Bring It backbend sweater, pink and medium, an Anthro Saturday Sunday Arcana knit sweater in a size medium, an RD style boyfriend shacket in a size large, and a Little Mountain plaid shacket in a size large as well. Just for reference, these items were listed at like $85, $85, $75, $65. I don't know how this happened, but there was a glitch. It happened. I could have canceled it, but whatever. I accepted it. So I know she loved this bundle. I know it was a good one. And yeah. Careful with those glitches. Be careful. And if you know why it did that, let me know. I don't know if it was like went off of like a previous offer. I don't know how it worked, but it was much more discounted than what I had sent out with the My Shopper feature. Hey, sorry this got missed, so I'm going to add it in right now. Next up is a Lululemon Well-Being sweater. This is a cashmere blend in gray. A little bit of an older style, but cashmere stuff I am grabbing, even if it's an older style Lululemon. And it's sold for $51. Style tags, cashmere, neutral, and normcore. Another one of my favorites to put in when it's just like a plain old sweater. Although it's Lululemon, it still is very normcore. Next up is a Lululemon Vestigan cardigan sweater in a size large. This was missing the vest though, and I made sure to state that in the listing. It's sold for $60. These are really good quality sweaters actually. If I find them, they're usually shrunk. They're not the size they're supposed to be, but this one was in really good condition. Keywords or style tags that I used for this one was grandpa, because it kind of reminded me of like a grandpa cardigan, dark academia, and athleisure because it was Lululemon. I was using athleisure as a style keyword, but I don't think I'm going to be using it anymore. I'm going to be using athletic from now on. I don't think athleisure really has an impact on sales. All right, moving along. Next was a Helly Hansen men's water-resistant shell jacket in a size large. This sold for $54. Style tags, water resistant, hiking, outdoors. I don't think that had any impact on the sale of this jacket. It was just like a next to new jacket, priced right, just waiting for the right person to come along and scoop it up. Next is probably an item you're going to recognize from a previous What Sold, because I sold this on eBay. The buyer did not pay for it. Thank goodness, because I actually sold it for more money on Poshmark, and it was the vintage Cowichan heavy knit cardigan sweater or jacket in a size large. It sold for $100. I'm happy with that. These sweaters hold really good value, even if they don't have the print on them. They're a really, really heavy knit sweater. And when you come across them, you know it. They're unmistakable at the quality. And usually they're handmade. They have a really heavy duty zipper, and they're just really warm. So people that are seeking them out know that they're going to be paying up for these items. Style tags that I would use for this are coastal, handmade, and fisherman. I mean, there's like a whole slew of keywords that you could use, but these are probably 3 of my favorite that I like to use on any item that's similar to this. Next up is a jacket I have had for like a year, and I know these jackets hold value. I just feel like I sit on them forever. And it was a vintage brown shearling penny lane, which was a new keyword that I just learned. Sheepskin jacket. This one was made in Canada, and it was a women's small. It sold for $118, but I had it listed, I think, for over $200, and I've had it listed for quite a while. They sent me an offer, or maybe I sent them a really aggressive offer, but $118 is what we decided on, and I felt like that was pretty fair. Pretty sure I can grab these jackets for, I don't know, anywhere between $30 and $40. So if I'm finding good quality ones, I will pay upwards of $40. If they have some flaws, which this one had some really minor flaws, I'm pretty sure I probably paid somewhere between $25 and $30 for it. Keywords that I would use for this one, or style tags, would be sheepskin, vintage, and penny lane. That is a new word for me. It describes this type of jacket. It's like a shearling jacket. It has like kind of like patchwork seams in it. You should look it up, a keyword that you may be able to apply to some other listings, and maybe it's one that you already know about. It was very new to me. I wonder if that actually had an impact on the sale, because I added that into the listing and it sold within a week or two. So Penny Lane, add that to your list of items that you're looking for when you go out. Next up is a pretty quick flip for me. They were a pair of Hunter Original Tall Classic boots. They sold for $76. I actually just sourced another pair in navy blue today. And yeah, I just think Hunter boots hold good value. If you're picking them up cheap enough, these are pretty easy and quick flips. We're gonna start getting into the Posh show that I had. So I have talked about it previously. I'm gonna pop a video up here. This is where I went over how my sale went. But yeah, I did a Posh sale. I did 39 items and I think 31 or 32 items sold. The show total was, I think, $12.50 for gross sales. And I break it all down after fees, cost of goods. I made about $600 off the show. So we're going to go over individual sales in this show that sold for over $40. A lot of these items did end up getting tossed in a bundle, but when I created the bundle in the Posh show, they were paying the rate or the bid, their winning bid. You know what I mean? It was so confusing. I can't wait until they get the bundle shipping going because this is a headache for sellers. All right, next up is an Aritzia Wilfred Delaney lace insert long sleeve blouse in a size medium. This sold for $45. I have a love-hate with Aritzia and Wilfred blouses because sometimes they do really well and sometimes they don't. So it's just like finding the right ones. And I don't know, I don't have an answer to which ones. It's like trial and error for me. Keywords that I used for this were lace, cropped, and neutral. So anything that's black, I'm clumping in with neutral. But yeah, that was a pretty good one. I'm happy with that one. Next is a Babaton Delos boyfriend blazer. This was in a size 4 and it sold for $90. Blazers, Aritzia, whether they're Babaton or Wilfred, I will pay up for these because they typically do pretty well and sell relatively quick. Style tags that I used for this one were minimalist. That's going to be a common style tag that I use with Aritzia items. Moss, because it was like a moss green, and casual. I felt like this had a really casual look to it. I like to use casual instead of office wear often. Most of the time my office wear is going to get keyworded as minimalist, contemporary, or casual. And I feel like that's very much the vibe that a lot of professionals are going for right now. Next is a Miss Mary Mac, which was a new brand to me. And if you are not familiar with it, you need to look it up. So it's Miss, like MS, Mary, M-E-R-I, and Mac, M-A-K. These are gorgeous pieces. They're like kind of like one of a kind, although they do batch produce them. But yeah, this is such a unique cardigan piece. I got this from a consignee. It's a one size fits all, but I did size it as a medium. It sold for $75. I had a lot of questions about this item, and unfortunately the information I was providing just wasn't what people were looking for. But yeah, I just needed that right buyer to come along, and I'm happy with this. I will definitely look for Miss Mary Mac more often. Like it's a pretty small brand. All right, now we are going into the live sale items. This is the first item that sold that really surprised me. The bidding kind of went on it. It was a Wilfred Lauren alpaca wool sweater in a size medium, and it got bid up to $77. It was a new with tags item, and I think that had an impact on the bidding for it. It was just a really beautiful sweater. Yeah, I don't know. I was shocked. I was shocked how high it got bid up. Happy about it though. Yeah, this was a good sale. Next is a pair of Lululemon Wonder Under high-rise ombre pants in a size 10. These sold for $45. Then there was a Kitten Ace in the Clouds wrap cardigan, size medium large. That one sold for $52. I used a bunch of keywords, but I don't know if the keywords actually helped it sell because these were just sold in a live auction. But for this item, if I was listing it normally, I have neutral, coastal, because to me it's a very like coastal grandma look. And I also use ballet core. As soon as it has like wrap in the title, I am putting ballet core into it right now. And I think just more for visibility because it is a style tag that is being searched right now. Next sale was an aloe black crop zip up hoodie in a size medium. This one sold for $44. Aloe is a newer brand to me. I don't normally find it, although previously I don't think I was looking for it as much until I found out what the retail value was. And I looked up comps and I was like, okay, I need to be seeking out this brand more often. I feel like it's not as popular in Canada as it may be in the States, but it's out there. You just gotta be looking for it, right? Next is an Anthropologie Pilcrel cowl neck sweater in a size large, and this sold for $42. I love that sweater. It is like literally the softest thing ever. I also had a Lululemon Going Places hooded jacket in size 8. It sold for $57. This was probably one of the items that I thought was going to sell for a little bit more than it did. I still made profit. I just did not make the profit that I had wanted to on it. I think I paid about $35 for it. So definitely not meeting the profit margin, and maybe I would have been better off not putting it into my live auction, but I had sourced specifically for the live auction that I did, and I was like, it is what it is. I'm pricing so I don't lose money on items and trying to keep it at like a fair market sale so that if it only got 1 or 2 bids, that it was still a fair market value. You know what I mean? I am not trying to be the person that drives down the used resale market ASP. I truly feel like it doesn't do me any benefit to clear out items at, you know, $15, $20, because when people go into my closet, they look at solds, or if they're looking up an item to see if an offer is reasonable and they see that I sold the exact same thing for 20 bucks, it does no benefit to me. So I am cautious when pricing my items, but I don't know if my starting bids are good enough for live auctions. Like, I think people want lower bids, but on the seller side, I feel like there's not enough true buyers in the sales to bid the items up right now. And that's impacting how many people are bidding on it, how high your item is being bid up, and then I guess how desirable items are. I feel like most of the items that I sell are quite desirable, and that's sometimes where I'm like, okay, I don't think maybe my demographic are showing up into the sales. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what to sell. I don't know where to start. I'm hoping that it just kind of builds, you know, going forward. But there's also a part of me that doesn't know if live selling has a place in my business model. It's fun. I love it. It's enjoyable. But I don't know if it gives me the ROI that I need for my business to keep running, you know, because it's a lot of work sourcing and listing and doing the show and shipping it out. And if at the end of the day, I'm not getting that return into my business, it's going to be hard to prioritize it. Okay, and we're going to keep moving along. Next sale was a new without tags Skims essential t-shirt bodysuit. This sold for $70. It was a size large. Yeah, that's a good deal. That's $50 off of retail price, but I paid up for a lot of those items, so that I didn't make very much money on. It was in the live sale. I was prepared. I kind of wanted to have one of them go into it, but I don't think I would be able to auction my items off. And I don't know if people would bid on them because the prices would be quite high. Next up is an Aritzia Babaton Power Hip Blazer. This sold for $50. I've sold a couple of these in the last few months. Definitely a style that I'm looking for and very current. Maybe not the colors are all current, but the Power Hip Blazer is still being sold at Aritzia right now. If you see them, grab them. People are looking for them. Next is a pair of Lululemon on the fly pants. These were in a size 4. They sold for $45, lower than what I would normally see if I was selling this outside of an auction. So typically on the fly pants are selling between $65 and $85 for me. I was prepared in this sale that things weren't going to be the price, but it's hard. Like when you have a high sell-through rate and you sell a lot of items and you have a higher ASP, but you also have a higher cost of goods, I find it hard to wrap my head around putting the items into a live auction and losing, you know, I could potentially in a sale lose a couple $100 worth of profit for what they're getting bid at and what I potentially would normally sell an item at. And that's something that I think a lot of resellers are probably going to struggle with. I think what we're going to see more in the live sales is people are just like clearing out Either they have access to a lot of inventory that they can move and make, 10, 15 bucks on, and they're fine with that, or it's going to be a lot of closet clear out stuff. It's going to be things that aren't moving for people, that they're just like, hey, this was a bad investment. I'm just going to sell it on here, for 15 bucks and try and get my cost of goods back. Okay, next up was an Aritzia Wilfred Adrian black lace top. This was in a size medium. It sold for $41. Again, that was another surprising like Aritzia blouse. I've had it in my closet for a while, but it was a beautiful piece. Like, it is a beautiful piece. Next is an Aritzia Wilfred Coppernick cardigan in black, extra small. This one sold for $41. I scored a couple of those. I really like them. For Wilfred or Babaton cardigans, for me, they don't necessarily have to be the newest style. They just have to be in really good condition and material content, and then looking more like a contemporary look. If they meet that criteria, I will probably pick it up, even if I know it's not the most current style. Next is another pair of Lululemon pants. These were in a size 6. They sold for $45. I was starting most of my Lulus at $45. This way, I felt like I was still making some money, and they were like a base price. But personally, I would never sell these leggings, especially such a current style, like within the last 4 years, for that price. So I don't know if I would in the future be putting my Lululemon leggings into my live auctions, just because I feel like they hold more value than that. It's tough. I appreciate every single sale that came in. Thank you so much if you supported my closet. I think there was a ton of good deals that went out. But like, as a seller, I'm talking to you guys as a reseller. Those leggings typically I would see selling for like $65 and up, $65 to $75, sometimes even up to $85, depending on the color, the size, the style, right? So to see leggings selling for $45, that's almost half of what I would normally make off them. And again, then when you start adding that up in a live auction, I feel like it adds up to quite a bit of money. All right, we're out of the live auction. We're now into some regular sales. I sold a vintage grandma knit sweater vest in a size extra large for $40. I love these knit sweaters, grandma style, cottage core. This is like my jam. Style tags that I would use for a sweater like this are grandma core, neutral, and vintage. And you could even put floral, embroidered, cabin core. I feel like this is a little bit of cabin core, and granny core. So I don't know if grandma core and granny core, I don't know which one is the better one to use. I've been using grandma core forever. It feels like, well, like a year and a half, but I've read online that the keyword or the aesthetic is being coined granny core. If you know, or you think you have, an opinion on this, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Is it grandma core or granny core? Which one should we be using? Next is another sale that I was like, did I make a mistake doing this? And I need to trust my gut instinct, but I had picked up a pair of Ariat Fat Baby black brown boots in a size 9. These sold for $68, but I did pay like $20, maybe even $25 for them. Ariat is a brand that will sell and hold good value if they are in really good condition. Now, you can still sell beat up Ariat boots, but the baby, like the Fat Baby ones, to me, I feel like they have to either be really unique, really beautiful, detailed, almost like more eccentric. I think those would hold value, or they have to be in that next to new condition. These were in excellent condition, and I think that's why they held the value, because they weren't really a unique colorway or design on them. Next is a Free People Faraway lace top. This sold for $50. She actually did send me an offer, and I countered back at $50, and I was like, you know what, $50 would be my lowest on this top, and she accepted it. So I'm happy we could come to that agreement. The style tags that I had on this were bohemian, lace, and ballet core. And yeah, I wonder if one of those ones helped, but those would be some of my faves for that style. Next sale is a handmade knit Fair Isle Icelandic fisherman sweater in a size medium. Because it's handmade, I put this under the brand handcrafted. So anything that's handmade is going under handcrafted. And then the style tags that I used for this would be knit, Fair Isle, and coastal, because it has a very like East Coast, West Coast, oceanside town look to it. I also think that coastal can fall under coastal grandma, West Coast. Like, I just think it's a versatile keyword. I have a bunch of these, so I'm hoping they start moving because they're definitely not selling as quickly as they were in previous years. Next is a 3-piece bundle. This sold for $130. It was an Aritzia wrap front houndstooth wool cashmere skirt in a size 6, a Lululemon forward flow cape in dark olive in a one size fits all, and a Wilfred Free black lowland sweater. And this was a merino wool one in a size small. So a really good bundle. This buyer, so Owen Saul, she actually bought some stuff from me in my live auction sale, and then she had liked these items, so I sent her a good offer because she supported me in my live auction sale as well, and she accepted it. And yeah, she was just so kind. So I'm happy to give her a deal on these items, and I really appreciate the support on the live sales and everything. Okay, so now we are getting into my Black Friday week sale because I ran it all week. This one goes out to Reworn. She's another reseller in Canada and someone that I talk with often on Instagram, so thank you so much. She got a 2-piece bundle of Skims. Yeah, so she got a Skims naked underwire bra and also a Skims all-in-one long sleeve mid-thigh short bodysuit. I don't know what you call those. They're like a jumpsuit, bodysuit. And she paid, are you ready? $135 for this bundle. So I'm running a sale right now. Bundle and save 40%. I would love to not include my brand new Skims that I just put into my closet, but you know what? I'm in the business of selling stuff and making money, and I feel like I probably overpaid personally for the items that I got, but that is my mistake. You know what I mean? So what I need to do is sell these items, get that money back into my business, and not stress so much about making, retail value to recoup, get my money back and make tons of money off of it. What I need to do right now is get that money that I spent on the cost of goods back into my business so I can make smarter choices. And that's something that I live by. I can't remember who, Liv, I think it was Liv that reached out to me, and there was an item that I think it was a Juicy Couture maybe, that she had picked up to sell, and someone sent her an offer. It was lower than what she wanted to sell it for, but she's had the item for a bit, and she said, I really just want to make the sale. And you know what I said to her? Make the sale, accept the offer, get the money back into your business. If it hasn't sold yet, it was probably a bad buy, right? Like, that's the honest truth. And I do it all the time. Trust me, I do it all the time. I share with you guys the items that I've sat on for a year or whatever, right? I personally, if something isn't selling, within a reasonable time frame and I'm just done with it, take the offer, get the money back, and buy better pieces. That's my 2 cents. Tab's 2 cents. Next is a pair of Lululemon Dance Studio joggers. These were in a size 6. They sold for $50. I thought these would sell for more. I think the color actually wasn't as desirable as I thought it was going to be. The likes were very low on it, and yeah, just probably was a bad buy on my end. I did make some money, but I thought they would sell for $65, $75. Next up is a 2-piece bundle, and this goes to Sad But Cute, who just cracks me up. Okay, so we're going to talk about the bundle, and then I got to tell you about the conversation we had after. So in the bundle, 2 pieces, $100. This is part of the Black Friday sale. She got an Aritzia Wilfred off-the-shoulder knit top and a pair of Lululemon True Trouser high-rise pants in a size 10. Here's a funny story. I actually wore those pants for Emika's graduation, her grade 8 grad in June, and I wore them with a white top. I really like them. They're nice pants. Okay, so here's the bundle sold for $100. So here's the funny conversation. So when I was packing, her and I had some chit chats in the convo, but when I was packing up her package, I look at everyone's addresses. So if you've ever bought something from me, I have looked at your address. I look at where people are from, and I like to read street addresses. I don't know why, because sometimes people have crazy addresses, crazy. And anyways, I looked at her address, and she lives on Drury Lane, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to message her. So I messaged her Do you know the Muffin Man? And if you've watched which Shrek, you know the line. It's hilarious. I cannot see that address and not ask. But anyways, we had a really cute conversation after that, and I was laughing so hard because she does know the Muffin Man, actually. And that's another story for another day. Okay. We're like getting close to the end. We got one more Poshmark sale, 2 eBay sales, an Etsy sale, and then we're gonna get into all the breakdown and details. For the Poshmark sale, I had, the last one was an Aritzia Babaton silk long sleeve blouse in an extra small, sold for $45. I've had that one actually for a couple months, but those blouses, they just come through. I'm seeing a trend. They're selling for over $40. If you can pick these up for like $5 to $10, there's some easy money right there. And then into the eBay sale. So the first sale is not an over $40 sale, but I'm going to share it because I'm going to start sharing all my eBay sales because they're slowly starting to happen. So the first one was a Lululemon sculpt tank top in red, size medium, and it sold for $35. A little bit lower than what I would hope for, but actually, no, it's not. I feel like that's pretty on par for tank tops. I try not to grab Lululemon tank tops. I think I kind of got caught up in the moment with that one. And then the second item that sold was a Figs Sydney scrub jacket, new without tags, and I think it was a size small. Yeah, and that sold for $57. So I did have that jacket listed quite a bit higher. Oh, I think I actually talked about this in my last what sold. So scrap that. We're not going to talk about it. I think I did talk about it because she was a dental student. I'm a healthcare worker. I was like, yeah, I'll accept that offer. So yeah, she got a good deal on it. Sorry guys, I couldn't remember if we had covered that. And as I'm looking at this Etsy sale, I apologize guys. We talked about this in the last video. It was the Susan Bristol wool embroidered vest. I'm gonna scratch it. We're not gonna talk about it. My apologies. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's break down these sales. 36 sales, over $40. Technically, it was 34 sales because we're going to scratch that Etsy sale and that one eBay sale. But total sales that I added up from like the last time I did a video was $3,221. I sold 72 items in this video, or sorry, 72 items in total. There were quite a few sales that I didn't include in this video that fell under $40. And the average sale price over all the items, so the 72 items, was $44.74. That is a fantastic ASP. That's kind of my goal, right? Is over 40. I would like to see 45. But 44, I'm happy with that. That's pretty on par. We're going to go over some top selling brands and then some advice I have if you are having slow sales right now and things that I would be looking for. So my top selling brands, keep in mind, these are probably the only brands pretty much that I'm listing as well. These are my most common brands that I'm sourcing and selling. Top brand was Aritzia. That is my top selling brand. That's why my thrift hauls are mostly Aritzia stuff because I just am able to move quite a bit of it. Next would be Lululemon. I feel like this could be my top selling brand if I could find more items at a cost of goods where I can make the profit margin that I want. And then my next best selling brand is vintage. And I love vintage pieces. I love vintage sweaters. That is like, that's where my heart is, truthfully. And I feel like I just sell Aritzia and Lulu because it sells. But if I could just sell vintage sweaters, that's all I would do. So yeah, those are my top 3 brands. If you're out looking, I think I would be looking for these. Another question that people have asked is how do I always figure out the style names for these? So an easy way I'm going to tell you about Lulu and about Aritzia. So for Aritzia, on the tag, when you flip it over, there is an article, and usually it's like 5, maybe 6 digits. It's an article number. That is the style. So if you type in, say it's like a Babaton blouse, I would type in Babaton blouse and that 5-digit number, and then it will pop up what the style is for that blouse. So if you didn't know, that works on almost all Aritzia items, as long as they're probably like 7 years current. It was something that they didn't do before, but yeah, if it's current, you'll be able to find a style that way. And then for Lululemon, If you find the size dot, which there's lots of little sneaky places they hide them, there should be a number or a letter depending how they do the size, and then around it is going to be letters and numbers. You want to start with the W. I like to go onto Lulu Fanatics as the website, and in the search bar, I will type in the 6 digits starting with the W, and that will usually pop up the style, the color, the year it was made, all that kind of information. And that, I think that's why I like selling Aritzia and Lulu. It's super easy to find the style. It's super easy to find out if it's current, what colors it came in, what is the retail price on it, and then it helps with like pricing and descriptions, things like that. That is also why these two brands are my favorite. Now for vintage pieces, I usually use Google Lens, especially if I'm not sure how to title it. And usually there'll be a couple items on the internet that look similar to the item that you have found, or have like the colorway or the pattern, something that you can grab keywords from. And if you don't know what Google Lens is, you have to download the Google app, and right in the search bar you're going to see kind of like the search little magnifying glass, and then there will be a camera. Tap the camera and it's going to go into a photo mode. Then you can take a photo of the item and it will kind of do its little magic, analyze it, and it's going to show up all similars. This is like one of the quickest and easiest ways to find out what the style is, or even a brand of an item if you're outsourcing. I like to use it on shoes actually. When I find shoes and I'm like, what is the style name for these shoes? I like to use Google Lens. So there's like 3 pro tips for those items, how to style tag them, keywords, and suggested retail price. All right, so there's a lot of information in this video. Going forward for sourcing things that I'm looking for, I'm still looking for winter pieces. Winter is here for another couple months. Here in Canada, it's gonna be cold till March. I do know that winter sales start to simmer off into February. People start looking for those spring, summer items. I'm gonna source for winter for a little bit more, but it's official. If I'm coming across a summer item that's a good price, I'm gonna grab it. I grabbed a pair of Wilfred, kind of like dress shorts, like trouser shorts yesterday, and I picked them up. I know they're a summer item, but I'm starting a tote. It's where I'm storing all my summer items, and I'll start listing those probably in March. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Sweaters, wide leg jeans, jackets, these brands, unique knits, wool, cashmere, alpaca. What are you guys looking for right now? What are you sourcing? What are you seeing for sales? I would actually like to know, what are your top selling 3 brands? Because I bet you we all sell different things, but it would be fun to hear what's selling for other people, because we can all be successful and have our own business models, and we can be different from each other and still make money and be successful, right? Okay, I'm rambling on. Thank you for tuning in. If this video has brought you any value or helped you in your reselling business, give me a thumbs up and let me know, because that is one way I know which videos I need to create more of or what's working for you guys. I am out of here. I am wishing you all many sales. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.